Well, pardon the mess around Alio's world today. Things are a little in disarray. I had some travel plans coming up that fell through. But check this. That's that tobacco top of the plant cutting that I had stuck in the jar of water. And that flower wasn't up at all. I just saw a little bud down in there. It's been in there for like 10 days now. And I think it's that long. But anyway, beautiful. Amazing flowers that they make. Just have been enjoying that, really enjoying that. And a lot going on around here today. I mean, I've still got, oh gosh, so many freshly picked tobacco leaves and some older ones that, a few days older, getting ready to go. A lot of those I had already pulled and stuck into this jar to continue their slow dry, and I'm just leaving that top off for today and let those get a little more air. But what we're really getting into mainly is kombucha. There's 8 cups of tea, 8 tea bags, and actually, I guess I need to get some of this honey into there. I've been really liking the honey kombucha. It seems to be working just fine. I'm going to put about 8, I guess for 8 cups, what would you have? You'd have like 8 teaspoons or 8 Anyway, I'm just going to dump a bunch of honey in there. Like it would be sweet tea. I'm going to lick that a little bit. Yeah, so got the honey in there and the tea bags. I'm going to put a little bit of, this is xylitol. I don't like using white sugar. So we'll put a little bit of that. Get it loosened up. Yeah, some of that xylitol in there too. Well, we'll make it today. I mean, God, this is going to be so dark. Blood-colored kombucha. There's the last batch of kombucha that we had made, out of these prickly pear fruits. These guys are frozen. These prickly pear apples. And we did come up with some really nice drink. You can see that. It's kind of peachy colored. And they're really nice, too. They're fizzy. As soon as you see those bubbles carbonating in your brew there, you see those little bubbles coming up, just flowing up the side and coming up from the bottom. It's time to get them into the cold, because that's where it preserves that carbonation. Seal the jar. So I blended up some of those fruits in the blender, and I dumped out the sediment from the last batch that I had put in there, because I just put all the blended stuff in there, and all those fruit solids go to the bottom. And then I already added 8 cups of that sweet tea over there, and I'm making another 8 cups in there now. So it'll be, that'll be these 8 cups plus those 8 cups plus the several cups of the old culture from the last batch that's got those scobies in there. Yeah, they're kind of all down in there, but there's this big SCOBY from this last batch, and then there's a little SCOBY too from the previous batch, but I poured it off and got rid of the old solids. I didn't want it piling up too deep down in here. But that's the old batch that I'm going to be using to inoculate this one after it cools down some more. I blended those frozen fruits and stuck them in here. So that kind of cooled it down a lot, but you can't dump living stuff into a really, really hot thing. It's got to cool down. It's getting down there now. It's got to cool down to maybe like, 110 degrees or something like that. You don't want to put it in there 140 degrees, because that's pasteurizing temperatures. So it's going to be a big, nice, dark batch. So I'm going to be taking, you know, I did slice up a little bit of ginger. You know, I picked up a chunk of ginger and sliced off, you know, I don't know, a bunch of little slices of that. And I threw the ginger into there with the tea bags. But I'm going to get a little bit of lemon juice here too. And I guess this is, I've never tried this thing. We'll see what it does. And it's probably easier just to squeeze a couple lemons, but yeah, it'll get a little juice. And it gets the juice out. I guess it'll catch the seeds. It doesn't matter though, because this stuff is all just going to go to the bottom sediment layer. But we'll be putting that lemon juice. I'm going to juice another lemon and add it to the batch. Got the ginger in there, got the sugar and the honey in there. So yeah, this thing will get filled up about to there today. That'll be nice. And then we'll just set it up, let it cook for, it takes three to 4 days. When you start seeing all those little bubbles coming up, and then I'm going to just strain it off, get it bottled, and put it away. The thing is, I'm going to maybe end up with too much kombucha because I love making it. And once your SCOBY, you know, has done its deal in there, and if it goes to where, you know, I'll pour off the bubbly stuff, and then what's sitting in there left over, it'll turn to vinegar and stop bubbling. And then that SCOBY will start dying if you don't feed it some more sugar. So these little guys, you know, I wanted to keep those SCOBYs alive. This is kind of vinegary, that old last batch. But I dump that in here and get all that stuff going and get those new sugars in there to feed those SCOBYs. Because I don't want those SCOBYs to die. That's what happens if they run out of sugar. Eventually they will die. And I could make a new one just by going to the grocery store, you know. I could just go to the grocery store and pick up a little bottle of kombucha and drink half of it and pour the other half in a little jar, or just pour the whole thing in a jar, you know, with a wider top to catch that, a little surface area for that SCOBY to grow. But it'll grow on just any kombucha from the store. Just let it sit around for a few days, and I have a new SCOBY to put into a new batch. But I like transferring those old SCOBYs. There's that soap, that Castile soap, that peppermint Castile soap that I made up to dump on the dog. You know, washed the dog with it because that dog was covered with fleas, and that peppermint oil soap is really, really good for killing fleas. So anyway, other than, you know, all dealing with all of that, you know, the tobacco and the kombucha today, and of course we planted a couple of 100 onions yesterday. And yeah, just always so much to do. So much to do, and trying to get travel plans together too. So I don't know, it's enough to keep me busy and keep me out of trouble. It's good to be retiring, you know. Y'all are gonna love it if you're not yet. So anyway, have a blessed, B-L-E-S-T, have a blessed day, and I'll let you know how this stuff turns out. It's going to be gorgeous, man. Blood red. Just blood red. Ruby.